This week I have this Toyota Highlander in for an interior detail. This vehicle is less than a year old and the interior was mostly dusty with a few bits of debris, but overall it was in decent shape. There were two spills that I found in this interior, one on the front seat which looked like a soda spill, and the second was on the pull-down armrest which looked like it was a chocolate shake that had spilled from one of the kids. I spent a little extra time on these spills to make sure that I cleaned them up properly and got this vehicle back to a near new condition. I start off by removing all of the owner's property from the vehicle so that way I can get to each of the compartments without having to work around them. So the first step in this detail is using the air blowout gun to blow out all of the large debris and food particles from under the seats, which would be hard to reach otherwise. I also remove the floor mats so that way I don't have to work around those and I can clean them outside the vehicle. Using a soft bristle brush and vacuum allows me to remove the dust without oversaturating these sensitive components like the electronics found here, which will save me in the long run as well. I don't have to use an air gun to remove all that liquid that I then put in the panels. Once the initial dusting is complete, I move on to vacuuming the carpets, removing all of the dry particulate, which will make the shampoo process more effective. During this step, I move all of the seats to their forward and backward positions to give me access to those hard to reach areas underneath the seats. By applying a little pressure to open the seams of the seat, you can vacuum out most of the particulate that accumulates in these cracks. Over time, this particulate can cause damage to the seams of the seat by rubbing against the leather every time that you get in and out of the car seat. This will cause the leather to break down over time. Once the initial vacuum is complete, we move on to cleaning the door panels and plastics using a P&S Express Interior, an assortment of brushes, and a microfiber drying rag. Using compressed air allows us to blow out all of the liquid that gets trapped in the cracks between the panels. When I was cleaning the center console, I noticed that these buttons had a little bit of buildup of something in the cracks, so I decided to spend a little time trying to clean it out. I started off with a brush that didn't seem to be very effective, so I moved on to trying to use compressed air with a dampened towel to try to force some liquid to break down that material. That wasn't as effective as I had hoped, so I eventually moved on to using a toothpick to try to pick that out and clean that area. The seats were in pretty good shape overall, with just a little bit of surface dirt, so I decided to use a rinseless dampened microfiber towel to wipe down all of the leather. I found this area here that was looked like a spill of some kind of soda or some kind of sticky substance, so I used steam to try to break that down and soften it, which was pretty effective. So it just took 2 passes with the steam cleaner and the microfiber towel to clean that up. Once I got to the back seat, I saw this area in the center console, which looked like it was a spilled milkshake or some kind of sticky substance. This area was pretty difficult to clean up. I tried multiple passes with the rinseless towel, with some chemical, and then ultimately ended up going at it with the steam cleaner, which was effective, but took a very long time to try to break that down. Once that cup holder was back in a state that I thought was acceptable, I moved on to wiping down the rest of the leather seats with the rinseless dampened towel. The leather seats were then conditioned using P&S leather conditioner using a sponge applicator. It was not filmed as part of this process, but the interior windows were cleaned using a rinseless dampened microfiber towel, followed up with a drying towel, which I have found to be a very effective way of cleaning interior windows.